Restaurant Daily brings you the top headlines of the day, but did you know you can dig deeper into the industry news by listening to The Week in Restaurants, or as we call it, TWER. Available wherever you get your podcasts on Fridays, TWER features restaurant business editor-in-chief Jonathan Mays, senior editor and tech editor Joe Guskowski, and executive editor Lisa Jennings, the TWERmites, who gather each week to chew on the top stories impacting the restaurant industry and offer their insights and analysis. Follow wherever you get your podcasts.
Papa John's is taking to the skies. Pizza Hut is being sued by a franchisee over AI. And El Pollo Loco's turnaround effort is showing results. Welcome to Restaurant Daily, your daily dose of the most important news in the industry from editors of Restaurant Business and Nation's Restaurant News. I'm RB Executive Editor Lisa Jennings.
And I'm NRN Managing Editor Leanne Zinsmeister. Papa John's is the latest in a growing list of restaurant brands experimenting with drone delivery. The company announced a partnership with Wing, which is owned by Google parent company Alphabet, for a delivery test of its new oven-roasted sandwiches in the Charlotte, North Carolina market. The test marks Wing's first direct partnership with a national restaurant brand and extends Papa John's existing partnership with Alphabet, which includes Google AI and Google Cloud. This test comes just a few weeks after Little Caesars announced its own drone delivery test. Chipotle also just announced the expansion of its drone delivery pilot, while a handful of other brands have been experimenting with the technology for the past couple of years.
Pizza Hut is being sued by a major franchisee for mandating use of AI-based kitchen technology. Shock Pizza Northeast, which operates over 110 locations in the Mid-Atlantic region, claims Pizza Hut's requirement to use Dragontail has disrupted operations and slowed down service, leading to lost revenue and profits, as well as reputational damage. The franchisee claims it was a top operator in the Pizza Hut system before the technology was implemented, and that Pizza Hut breached its franchise agreement for requiring its continued use despite materially degraded metrics. Shock is seeking damages amounting to no less than $100 million, as well as fees and interest. Dragontail was acquired by Pizza Hut parent company Yum Brands in 2021.
El Pollo Loco blew past Q1 expectations. The quick service chain last week reported a 5.8% increase in same-store sales, a 27.3% surge in adjusted earnings per share, and a 320 basis point expansion in margin to 19.2%. That margin number is on the higher end of CEO Liz Williams' goal, put into place when she laid out a turnaround plan shortly after coming on board in 2024. During a recent interview, Williams laid out some of the plans that have been working as part of that plan, including a ramp-up in menu innovation and a sharpened focus on operations. This work has yielded better unit economics, which is giving the chicken chain license to grow more aggressively. She said she believes that to grow a brand, you have to have both economics and enthusiasm. And for El Pollo Loco, the enthusiasm is there and the economics are catching up.
The battle over Bryant Park Grill in New York City is expected to continue. Publicly traded Arc Restaurants operates 3 signature restaurants in Manhattan's Bryant Park. Last year, the group lost the bid to continue the leases after 30 years in operation there. Arc sued the landlord, and the legal dispute is ongoing. CEO Michael Weinstein said he expects the case to go to trial late this year or in 2027. Meanwhile, the 3 restaurants accounted for 13% of the group's revenue during its most recent quarter. Sales were down in part because people think the restaurants are closed as a result of the much publicized dispute.
One Arcade named a new CEO as it plans to rev up growth. Matt Horvath replaces Jonathan Peters, who had been CEO of the food and gaming brand since December. The company said the change is meant to align with its next phase of growth, which will include franchising. Horvath previously spent more than 14 years with Gordon Ramsay's restaurant group, most recently as COO of North America.
And speaking of cars, Ford's Garage is opening at an auto dealership. The chain signed a 3-unit franchise agreement with Delaware-based Carson's Garage, which will open its first location at a dealership in Millsboro this year. It will be Ford's first restaurant in Delaware and is part of a big franchising push for the Florida-based casual dining chain.
The founders of Crumble plan to hand the keys to their chain over to other people, as soon as they can find them. Jason McGowan and Sawyer Hemsley, cousins who started the chain back in 2017, said in a social media post that they've decided to conduct a search for new executives and will step aside from day-to-day operations as soon as they are found. McGowan has operated as CEO since the brand's inception, while Hemsley is Chief Brand Officer. Bryce Redd, the Chief Technology Officer, will also step aside. The founders will remain on the company's board.
Dunkin' is gunning for Tim Hortons' home turf again. The coffee and donut chain announced a deal with the Canadian operator Foodtastic to develop hundreds of locations in Canada that will bring Dunkin' back to Canada for the first time since the chain left the country in 2018.
Happy Endings Hospitality is exploding with the help of double entendres. The group in the Washington, D.C. area first opened the concept Chasing Tails, serving Cajun-inspired seafood boils. Teas and You is a boba concept. Lade Island Kitchen serves poke and other Hawaiian-inspired dishes, and its growth vehicle is Roll Play, a fast casual concept selling Vietnamese spring rolls, pho, rice bowls, and banh mi sandwiches. That concept has expanded to 3 locations, each grossing more than $5 million annually, and they are getting ready to expand. Read more about them on nrn.com.
And that should do it for Restaurant Daily. Listen to us every weekday wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Lisa Jennings.
And I'm Leanne Zinsmeister. Whatever you're facing today, you got this.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Restaurant Daily. Rate us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and subscribe. Restaurant Daily brings you the top headlines of the day, but did you know you can dig deeper into the industry news by listening to The Week in Restaurants, or as we call it, TWIR. Available wherever you get your podcasts on Fridays, TWIR features restaurant business editor-in-chief Jonathan Mays, senior editor and tech editor Joe Guskowski, and executive editor Lisa Jennings, the TWIRmites, who gather each week to chew on the top stories impacting the restaurant industry and offer their insights and analysis. Follow wherever you get your podcasts.